everyone, it's Kara here from Boho Berry, and I am back with a mini tip Monday for you all. A lot of you know that I am really into letter writing, and I absolutely love my pen pals. I absolutely love receiving letters in the mail, and more than anything, I love writing and sending letters. And one thing that I have come across that I have really enjoyed as of late is creating wax seals. And for the mini tip today, I thought that I would show you my method for creating wax seals and show you how nice and simple it can be. Now, you will need a few supplies to start, and the first thing you're going to need obviously is wax. And this wax is by, I'm going to say this wrong, Atelier, Gargoyle. And this is a husband and wife team here in the United States, and you can actually get this wax from the Goulet Pen Company. And I know I sound like a broken record commercial for the Goulet Pen Company as of late, but I am seriously just in love with their company and their customer service. So anything that I can get from them, I do. So I got this wax from them, and I have it in two colors. One is a turquoise, which is the one on the bottom, and then the top, I believe, is the sea glass green. Both these, obviously you all know that my favorite color is teal and turquoise, so these are my two favorite colors of wax from them, but they come in almost every color of the rainbow. And what's really cool about these waxes is that they are kind of on the supple side, so they hold up really well in the mail. They don't crack and crumble in the mail system like some of the harder waxes out there. So these hold up really well. They're nice and flexible, so when the paper gets bent, these wax seals flex with them. You can actually see, this is one that my friend Kim sent me, and this is that same wax, but you can see that you can bend it and flex it and it doesn't break or crack. Now this one obviously got banged up in the mail a little bit, but it did not lose its shape. I think it just got scuffed up a little along the way, which is to be expected with our mail system. But yeah, so you can see that you can really bend without any of that cracking. So these hold up really well, at least with the US mail. I haven't tested it otherwise. The other thing that you're going to need is a wax seal itself. And this seal right here is a letter B. I don't know if you can see that on there. Try to get up close here. And this metal ring comes separate from the wooden handle. So you do buy these separately. These are available at Goulet Pens as well. Not only do they have initials, but now they also have different little designs like sunshines and hearts and different things along those lines. So that's pretty cool. One thing that I have done with mine, you'll see this little black dot here on the end. Especially with letters and things that have a right side up, I found it really helpful when I am doing my seal to have that marked on the back side. So when I go to seal, I know automatically which end is up on my letter. So that's what that little dot is there for, and I just did that with a little Sharpie. And then the other thing that you're going to need obviously is a source of flame or fire. And I normally use one of those long, like torch style lighters that you find like for camping and lighting grills and things like that. Unfortunately, mine died on me yesterday, so all I have is this little yellow Bic lighter. So we're gonna see today if this will do the trick. No promises, I really hope it does, and we will go from there. So that's really all you need, and then of course you need your piece of mail or a piece of paper, whatever you want to do your wax seal on. One thing that can be helpful that I've heard tips on is to have a little wet sponge off to the side to rest your seal on. And what that does is it creates kind of a moisture barrier on your seal so that it peels off of the wax a little bit better. I don't think that's 100% necessary, but it's just an idea to throw out there for you. So I'm gonna move the screen down here and we're gonna do some wax seals. All right. Okay, so here we are, and I have here, this is just a little scrap piece of paper that I was practicing some pointed pen calligraphy on. So I'm just gonna fold this over and we're gonna pretend like it is an envelope. All right, so we've got our edge right here, and then we are going to take our wax. I'm going to set my seal off to the side so it's ready, and we're going to go at it with a lighter. And all I do is just kind of hold the flame. You don't want to hold the flame super close because you'll get, here, before I do this, let me see if you can see those black splotches on there. that is from holding the flame too close. So if you do that, you're going to get kind of some burnt spots in your wax, which really isn't that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, but I prefer just the wax to be its actual color. So we are just going to spin this around the heat. And you'll see that it will slowly start to kind of bubble up. And then you want to just keep spinning it. You don't want that wax to drip onto the paper until the end of your wax is soft enough. So you just want to keep going, keep going. And what I find works best is to do about a quarter-sized dollop of wax on the page. So I'm just getting this super melty without dripping. And sometimes it can take a while. That's the one thing I'm nervous about actually with this lighter in particular, is because it's getting very, very hot. So I think in general you definitely want to have kind of an easier flame to work with. All right, and then you'll see it where it starts to get really drippy. Now I'm going to turn it upside down and let that just start to drip onto the paper. All right, we're getting some good drips there. And again, I like to get a good amount there onto the paper. And you can kind of start moving around so that you've got the shape that you want. And you just keep letting wax drip down. And then once you have a good amount there, you can let go of the flame and then just kind of give it a swirl onto the page. Got a little drip. And then you put down your seal. All right, so that one you can see I didn't have quite enough wax on the paper. But you can see, and this wax, you really don't want to mess with it too much right after. You want to give it a few minutes to kind of solidify after that. Let's do one more. And I've got a multitude of lighters here because I knew that one was going to get super hot. So we're going to go again. And again, I am just spinning this around, trying not to char the wax itself, but rather just heat it up. The flame on this lighter is crazy. Now I have seen there's different kinds of wax kits out there, and some wax kits come with like a little tea light candle and a spoon, and what you're supposed to do is hold the spoon over the flame and melt the wax into that, and then you dump that wax from the spoon onto the page and then press your wax seal in it. Now I've never tried one of those. I have seen some videos on how those work. So just to let you know, that method is out there. There are also different types of wax. Like I said, this one is a supple wax. There are also hard brittle waxes out there. And there are wax sticks that have a wick in them. So you would light the wick itself, and that is what would melt the wax onto the page. So there's a lot of different varieties out there. This is just the one that I am familiar with and used to. And I've tested it in the US mail system, and I know that it works. So that's why it's just my personal recommendation. Here we go. We're starting to get some drips coming down. And this can take a while, so you really have to be patient. Another reason why a different type of lighter is probably best. because this is definitely getting really, really hot in my hand. But sometimes you just kind of have to work with what you got, you know? All right, see that dripping? Here we go. All right, switching lighters because that one got super hot. See, at least I was prepared with multiple lighters, right? All right. And I'm going to try to get some more wax onto the page here than I did last time. And again, you can see that kind of charring effect when I'm holding the flame too close. But that's one thing at the end when you kind of rub everything around on the page. It kind of blends that together as well. Alright, so we've slowly melted that wax. I feel like we have quite a bit on there now. I'm going to kind of pass that flame over to kind of heat that back up a little bit. Give it a zhuzh, mix it up, spread it out, and then take my seal. And they say that you can let it sit there for a few seconds until the wax hardens around it. I've never had a problem with these and with just taking the seal right out, but that is what they say. All right, so there we go. So that kind of gives you an idea. These are the two colors that I have my little bee on there. Again, this particular brand, Atelier Gargoyle, they have quite a few different colors. Goulet Pens stocks these regularly and they are awesome, awesome, awesome. They even smell good. I don't know what they put in them. I feel like maybe it's a gingerbread of some sort. But yeah, they even smell good. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little bit about wax sealing and different techniques and different tips. If you have any questions, as always, you can leave them in the comments below and I will be happy to join in the conversation down there with you all. And I will see you all on Friday. Bye.